One. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, but today we are going to going on about one of my choices. I figured we kind of since Kroll, you chose Inception, which was actually somewhat inspired by the writer behind this this movie or whatnot. It's the movie that I chose is Minority Report, which was directed by Steven Spielberg, 2002, 2022, and it was based on a 1956 novella called The Minority Report, which was written by Philip K. Dick. Now, if you know anything about Philip K. Dick's writing and the film adaptations that have come out of his writing, um, I'll mention films like Paycheck, um, Bicentennial Man, Blade Runner, Total Recall, either one, and Scanner Darkly, films of that nature, films that have been inspired from the writings are like The Matrix, Dark City, um, and like I mentioned before, Inception, which we've already talked about. So if you get a chance, check out our discussion on it. But let us see what let's see who acted in it. Tom Cruise and Max Snyder, and Samantha Morton, along with Colin Farrell. Those are four main names that ended up acting in this movie. Let us see what IMDb says about this movie, and then we'll go into first impressions. So, according to IMDb, John works with the pre-crime police, which stops crime before they even take place. With the help of three precogs who can foresee when John finds himself framed for a future crime. Hold on. This is having trouble opening. Let me read the summary. Okay, in the year 2054 AD, crime is virtually eliminated from Washington, D.C., thanks to an elite law enforcement squad pre-crime. They use three gifted humans called precogs with special powers to see into the future and predict crimes beforehand. John Anderton heads pre-crime and believes the system's flawlessness steadfastly. However, one day the precogs predict that Anderton will commit a murder himself in the next 36 hours. Worse, Anderton doesn't even know the victim. He decides to get to the mystery's core by finding out the minority report, which means the prediction of the female precog, Agatha, that might tell a different story and prove Anderton innocent. So, going around a room, I'll start with you, Crow. Was this the first time watch for you?
Nope.
And what were your thoughts on it?
Well, just like the first time I watched it, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed the movie, much like I enjoyed the first season of the TV series. I watched as well. I don't think I saw more than one. I think there was more than one season. I only saw one season, I believe. So not sure if.
I still haven't seen the series.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. The movie's good. Of course, it was a lot like watching it for the first time because it's been a long time since I saw it. Um, I'm sure when I saw it, I was thinking of all the stuff in the movie, thinking, "Wow, look at all that futuristic stuff." And because I bring that up because this time I'm thinking that I'm just looking at it, I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, they got that and that," and it's just like the way he's moving the screens around and stuff. It's like in 2002, that's like, wow, that's amazing. In
Yeah,
2024, we got that shit. So it's not even that big of a thing, you know. I mean, the way the vehicles moved, was something we don't have yet. But um, but most of the stuff in the movie, the futuristic stuff, we already got. And I actually just read today that we got the first monitorless laptop, no
okay.
screen. It's instead you get glasses, like 3D glass type glasses, and it
Uh-huh.
opens up to a like 100-inch screen with the glasses.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's actually 1900, which considering it's not that bad.
No, that actually doesn't sound that bad.
Not
Which
something I can afford at the particular moment,
no.
but not that bad. And of course, it just came out, so obviously, give it some time and it'll drop down and stuff. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting, and just because we were talking about technology, I wanted to bring that up. But yeah, it was a good movie. I like Tom Cruise's movies normally. As I'm saying that, the Mummy pops into my head just to fuck with me, saying not
The
all his movies.
Mummy Impossible. That's what it's been referred to as.
Mission Impossible movies are fucking awesome. So that's a stupid analogy. I would never use that. Those movies are fucking awesome. The Mummy sucked. Like I said, I like Tom Cruise movies usually, with obviously the exception of The Mummy. He fucked it up, or well, I don't think he did a good job. I mean, it wasn't all his fault, but he didn't do a good job either. So I will blame him too.
Ready? Is that pretty much your first impressions of this movie so far?
Yep.
Alrighty, heading over to you, Tammy. Was this the first time watch for you?
Yes, I believe so. I don't remember watching this ever before. Um, I thought it was really cool. I liked the technology that was in it. I liked the idea behind it. I thought that was unique. It was cool. It's something that would be kind of like, well, if it could really happen, that would be kind of cool, just because it would be nice not to watch the news every day and hear something every single day on the news. So, but and I do usually enjoy Tom Cruise also in movies. So I thought he was, I thought he was good, and yeah, I mean it moved along pretty good and everything, so that you didn't get bored with anything or nothing. So, but yeah, um, I enjoyed it. So, I like the cars somewhat. I mean, me being a car buff, I don't know how much I'd really like them. Okay, I guess for your everyday vehicle, but I would still like to have my play vehicle, which you don't see any of those on the road in this movie. So, that would kind of, I guess that would kind of bite in the future because, you know.
I definitely agree that the car seemed out of place on the regular road. Like it seemed perfectly normal, like the way it was, going zooming up and down and wherever the way they were going, like those vehicles seemed normal. But then, when it was on the ground, just regular driving, it just seemed out of place. Like why couldn't they have just had like regular cars? Even if it wasn't something fancy, it's just a regular car would have made more sense.
Yeah,
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
it
it
seemed
was
like
kind of
the
cool
car
how it went up
floated.
how it kind of went up the side of the building and then, parked into where you live, and it came out that way. That was kind of cool, but like I said, I didn't see anything but those kind of cars on the road, which was kind of like, yeah.
Well, and they have the ability to stop the cars whenever they want to. You know, uh, that
Or reverse direction and put you wherever they want you to put you. So yeah.
correct. They have control over these vehicles, no matter where you are. So that was another thing. But um, let us
Well, in
begin.
that case, they can keep them.
So John Anderton is played by Tom Cruise. Um, as I said in the intro, he is a pre-crime detective, which basically he works for a company that they basically use three precognitive uh, people with superpowers of some sort um, together that have these nightmarish visions of the future that actually happen. And um, as the film progresses, we learn that the company sort of believes in, you know, um, they have to be exact and very uh, black and white when it comes to um, knowing that these people will commit these crimes regardless. The precogs are never wrong, and that's kind of what John Anderson believes in. He believes in the whole system, the whole thing of it. And but he is also the product of of a past of having a son that was kidnapped while he wasn't looking, you know, and because of the pain that he's dealing with, that's what eventually starts. There are people with other government factions that are in this world that are trying to cut this company down to size and find a flaw, and that's when we get Colin Farrell's character coming in there. I guess he's been put in there, but he's an ex-clergyman um, turned cop who basically is a threat to the company, to John. He wants his job, and vice versa. But we also see that the way that these precogs work. Um, there is they have a vision. The vision is then um, they tell what's going on, who's the victim, and who's the perpetrator, and and when they tell them these things, they get branded on these fucking marbles that shoot out a tube, and their whole company is made of glass plastic or whatever. So it's kind of interesting how their computer stuff looks, and how he can pull images here and put images there and bring it from a plastic piece over and slide it in, and then drag and drop. You know, um,
It makes
and
sense that it was the same. It was the same like person as Payday, because they do the same thing in Payday. When they were explaining things and stuff. But again, they have 3D computers and stuff that can do that. I mean, I don't personally have it, but it's out there.
well, yeah, they definitely have used this type of technology before in government facilities and things of that nature. I even think certain hospitals have this kind of technology now, so that they can write certain things down or whatnot. But in any case, we do have in the very beginning here a victim that is supposedly about to kill his wife. And so what do y'all think about this first victim, that first pre-crime situation that we see? Man looks like he's stabbing his wife, and they end up getting almost there, but they have to realize, one, that there is a playground in the area, and two, all the houses look the same. you know, so he has to call into his pre-crime dudes and be like, "Was the door open or closed?" You know. Um, and obviously the wife is cheating on him because there's the dude is just waiting outside the home, and the husband goes in and is like, I swear I've seen this guy before, you know, and he keps trying to tell the
I
wife,
think
hey, yeah,
yeah, I think when he said that, he knew what was happening. I felt bad for him because although he had the scissors in his hands, I believe that he wasn't going to do it. Even though the precog saw that. And I'm thinking, okay, so first of all, he finds out his fucking wife is cheating on him, and then he goes and gets fucking arrested for something he never actually did. You know, that's why I mean, I believe in precognition, and I believe in telepathy and things like that. But I also believe, like like Agatha kept saying, and then John said at the end, is you have a choice. You still have a choice not to do it, right?
right.
And that's the whole thing. And that's why the whole minority, well, the whole thing fell apart in the end because of that. Because we still have free will, even even if things are seen. That's just one possible outcome. It doesn't mean it's the only outcome.
Yeah, that's the thing with this whole idea. It would be nice to think that we could catch them before it happens. In fact, it could be a very plausible thing, like down the road. If there was a way to catch people before they did it, that would be great, because then we would have zero crime. You know,
Right,
people
but
would.
unfortunately, you know, yeah, unfortunately, it's just not a way to do it because you know they're going and they arrest the person before he did it, but you know he actually didn't do anything. So what are you arresting him for? Maybe the thoughts of it. Well, then everybody would be in prison because I'm sure everybody's had some kind of thoughts at some point of doing something they shouldn't do. You know.
They saw that he was in the, he was just about to do the act when they got him.
Yep, he was.
No, he had scissors
He
in
was
his
wrestling with
hand.
scissors backwards in his hand, and he was about to strike when they caught him.
Again, like he said, he hadn't done anything. It did look like he might have done something. Just because it looked like it doesn't mean he wasn't. Maybe he would have stabbed the bed and not the wife, like just out of anger, because his fucking wife is in his bed with another fucking dude. Anyone's gonna be fucking angry. That doesn't mean he would have actually stabbed either one of them. He could have just stabbed the bed, in
That might,
anger.
but would you rather in that moment, if 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 these precogs uh, were never wrong, knowing that they have not been wrong ever in the entire time that they've been saying that this murder has been happening, if
But
they've
they
never been
actually were wrong at times, and that was the whole point of the movie.
yeah, but later on. So
Well,
um,
I'm smart. I can't help you.
Not change the subject. I meant to intervene when we were talking about the technology. I do remember they did the same kind of technology in Hawaii Five O with the when we watched the show, David. When
Oh,
they
did
would
they?
yeah,
when they would be moving stuff around, they had that flap. You
yeah,
know,
they had this really big flat screen eventually in Hawaii 5.0, which they were able to bring up into like a holographic type screen.
yeah, and they could do all kinds, and they moved it. I thought that was really cool in the show. So, not to change the subject, I was trying to think of the name of the show so I could say it when you guys were talking about it.
Yeah, eventually in the last couple of seasons, they actually had, and I remember when they had the machine broken at one point in time. I was like, no, you know.
Yeah,
But moving forward, so evidently, when they take and arrest these people, they put them down in a I'm not even sure what to call it. They call um, almost like a graveyard of people that are connected to machines that are always reliving their crimes.
it seems almost like a cryogenic type of thing because they are alive, but
Well, yeah, they shave their heads and they're all completely naked, uh, strapped to the this fucking thing. And when the one dude brought him out on that away, those things just rose up with the bodies and whatnot. But there is a guy that is starting to breathe down his neck, which is he's played by Colin Farrell, and he has made it his job to get in John Anderson's face and basically tell him I've got a warrant to be wherever I want and do whatever I want. So you work for me, you know.
Yeah, he was a jerk in this one, but it turned out he wasn't 100% a jerk. Like he thought John was like the problem there, and so that's why he wanted out of the place. But I think in the end he realized, okay, it wasn't John, and then he made a mistake, and then he got killed. You know, so I think he was kind of an ass, but I don't think he was an ass like he wasn't really the bad guy. He was just kind of an ass.
Yeah, he was kind of a dick at first, but I think
I felt kind
he
of bad when he got killed because he wasn't he wasn't suspecting the person that killed him, at all.
Yeah,
He was still after John at that point, and he totally got caught off guard and everything. And so I kind of felt kind of bad for him.
yeah,
which eventually we'll get to and probably talk again about because while this guy is breathing down his neck and has found out that he's using drugs to uh, get himself to sleep, um, he is forced to bring the guy into the room where they call it the cathedral or the temple, which is where the three precogs are basically kept in this pool of water, so that they're always constantly kept between being awake and asleep.
Yeah.
Not too deeply sleeping, because they don't want them to not wake up from these dreams, but always consistently somewhat awake as well.
And that
And
was that's the most fucked up thing about the movie, the whole movie, the way they treated those people.
well, it's like they basically turned them into their nightmares
They turned them
into.
into fucking machines that constantly saw their fucking nightmares and shit. Like, you know, fucking horrible.
And if you were consistently seeing the deaths of people, wouldn't that put you in like some kind of like fetal position like all the time, and depression and all that that kind of I mean, these are these are human beings, that they're keeping uh, for a government program in a consistent state of dream state, just to catch these people, because this just so happens to be their special ability. And um, the the lead one, the female, Agatha, ends up reaching out to John and giving him a vision of a already committed murder, which eventually, as things progress, also she predicts that he's going to kill someone within 36 hours. Um, and that puts him on the run. And then I believe before he even remotely does anything, he goes and tracks down the lady who created the precogs. Um, and that place is kind of interesting, because he gets in there and he is immediately
Yeah,
poisoned.
it's like fucking it's like poison ivy. Like she's like poison ivy, you know. She's fucking got all the plants attacking him and shit, and she almost fucking kills him. Um,
And I think, even though she's an old lady, she plays it really good. I mean,
oh
um,
yeah, I think it's funny how she kisses him, and then when he gets his eyes taken out, the nurse is like grabbing his ass and shit. It's like the women are taking advantage of him while he's like can't fight back. You know,
right,
like twice.
right. But yeah, he goes to her. The thing that she tells him, well, she tells him two things. She tells him, one, that there are minority reports that are kept inside the precogs, and the other thing that she tells him, I think, is that he probably knows some people, is being a past police officer, that could probably help him out with uh, getting his eyes taken out, or whatnot, and so on and so forth. Um, Also, she basically tells him that they have the ability. They The precogs argue. Sometimes they don't agree, which also means that you have the ability to choose whether you um, commit the act of murder or not. You know, and that's pretty much what he finds out there. Um, and then he goes to the dude, gives him some money to take out his eyes, but also so that he keeps his original eyes. Um, but while he's recovering, they send these robotic eye scanners after him, and he's got to hide in the fucking tub. What did y'all think about that? The several moments that the pre-crime dudes tried to go after him. Actually,
Well, I was thinking as soon as when he jumped out, at first I was like, why is he got a tub? I'm like, oh, it's ice cold water, so it won't show that he's a warm body anymore. I'm like, that makes sense. And then it made me think about when they showed him in the pool with his son. He was holding his breath because I guess he was good at holding his breath, and so they kind of they tied that in a little bit, and then of course, um, the spiders ended up checking his eye right at the perfect moment. Like another second, they would have been busting in and catching him. And of course, they did it. They did it just as he just had the buzzer was about to go off, and he was able to open his eyes. So yeah, it was all like perfect timing. Like any another a second earlier and or a minute earlier, and he probably could have gone blind in the one, at least in the one eye. And a minute later, and they would have busted in and caught him. So yeah.
Well, the spiders, the only reason that he even got found was because they electrocuted him in that water.
Oh yeah, they electrocuted the waters. I don't
Yeah.
know about the zap. I thought that was actually kind of cool.
Them spiders, man, I was like, oh, even though they're electronic, it was just like
I would
It
have
didn't
thought.
really bother me because I wouldn't want them coming in at me like they did. That was fucked up. But they ain't like creep me out like real spiders do.
I wish they would
I
have
would have
showed the dude taking the eye completely out to make it
no,
a little bit more
no,
graphic.
no,
But yes, I think they could have if
no.
they'd have done if they wanted to make people squirm.
This
Yeah,
isn't
I
a
know.
horror movie, dude. It's a sci-fi movie.
Ah.
all I know is that them spiders came into my place. I would have been tempted to grab whatever, just whap, and send the suckers flying.
Well, in any case, um, he also the dude who gives him the stuff or took his eyes and gave him new ones. Also gave him this thing that would distort his face for a little bit.
Now, they did a weird thing with it. They made it sound like he was like gonna like fucking screw him over because he's like, we met before, you arrested me, and like just the way he was talking, like, now you're fucked because like you're drugged and I got you,
Not a lot
and
of
then
money.
huh? What?
Even he said that's not a lot of money when he put his credit card through or whatever. He's like, I'll get you more later.
Yeah, he said it wasn't really funny, but yeah. But what I'm saying is he could have. He was acting like he was gonna fuck with him because he had arrested him. Nothing to do with money, And then he didn't. He did exactly what he was charged. Well, okay, he did fuck with him to a degree, but he didn't fuck with him as much as he could have. He fucked with
Yeah,
him by
like
leaving
he
Yeah,
told them
you
that there
didn't
was
disgusting.
food in there.
He
He
fucked
told
you
them
with
there
him
was
by
like
food
leaving
that
in there.
part.
disgusting fucking food and rotted fucking milk in there. He left real stuff too, but he left the fucking gross stuff in there too. Of course.
Right, so he grabbed the real gross stuff because he didn't realize, but it's like, man, he should have taken all that nasty crap out of there and just
Well, that's what
left
I'm
the good
saying. I
stuff.
think he ate lost. I think he did that because, well, John did arrest him, and he's like that was his little bit of revenge. But
Maybe.
like the way he was acting like he was really gonna like fuck him over, like kill him or just take his eyes completely or like not give him back eyes. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't. He did exactly what he was being paid for, and he did fuck with him somewhat though.
Yeah,
So.
he did.
Yeah, it was just weird the way they did it because they just kind of acted like they were really gonna screw him over, and they didn't. But I mean, he did do the food and everything. So um, I mean, honestly, the dude got what he deserved to be in prison. You know, I didn't feel bad for the doctor at all. At all, he was putting people on fire. That's fucking horrible. You know, um, but he was definitely a Fruit Loop. You know, and you know, I don't know if
Well,
he definitely reminded me of someone that would be in Gotham City. You know, like totally and completely like he belonged in Gotham City. He's one of those
and at first I thought
nutcases.
it was someone that he had pre-crime before, but it wasn't. It was someone he
No,
paid.
it was before pre-crime.
Yes.
Because well, I think with pre-crime, like they were saying, it's only murder. They only dealt with murder. Like there was
Mhm.
no other crime that they dealt with. It was just murder. So like all the other crime was still dealt with by police. Just the murder was. They were saying that because of and like um it's just it's all um they were talking about it that it's only murder that they dealt with. So there's still other crime and everything. You know, it's just
I
we.
think
Well,
I think they said it was
A Farrell
murder.
character,
I think they said they only dealt with murder because it was the only thing that could be planned or be thought of ahead of time
Well,
to
no,
where.
because they were saying like most of those weren't pre-planned. Like the dude who knew his wife was cheating on him. Okay, so obviously he was planning on catching her in the act, but I don't think he was planning on killing her at the moment. It's just like he was like looking through stuff and the scissors were there and he just picked them up, you know. Obviously because he wasn't thinking in a straight mind. But I don't think the murder was premeditated at all. It would have been a crime of passion had he actually killed her, which is most crimes are crimes of passion. Premeditated murder is a lot rarer.
Well,
Most
they
most
said something to that effect about because there was like an interview about during the thing about why don't they go after people that do rape and do the robbery and
Yeah,
this
they were
and
saying they
that,
could only do murder. They could only do murder.
and they
Um,
said that they only do
the
murder.
precognition of murder. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. That they talked about it. So
but
um,
ultimately he sticks that thing that he gave him and distorts his face, and then he goes and kidnaps. In fact, I don't even call it a kidnap because I think Agatha wanted to go with him.
it was.
It's
I
kind of
mean, well, technically, I guess you would call it. He stole her because she was obviously fucking property to the government, and they didn't give a flying fuck about their rights or as human beings. So they were just fucking property, like they were in the military, but they didn't even sign up for it. At least the military people have to sign up to be property.
but
So you can't call it kidnapping because they weren't human. They weren't
and
treated as people. They were treated as property.
he found out from the other lady that they were the last surviving ones from the ones they originally were experimenting with.
Yeah, and
Um,
she even said, "Oh, it might have been us, like what we were doing to them and stuff." So they were experimenting. This wasn't just like you have natural abilities, right? Like everybody has it, and they were enhancing their abilities. They were basically giving these people the gifts that were fucking actually nightmares to them, and then treating them like fucking machines. It's actually
yep,
horrible. It's pretty horrible what was going on, really. I mean, the whole movie's about what's going on with Tom Cruise's character with John and everything, and what and
almost
what
like
they're doing with the and how it's wrong that they what they were doing, but they never really bring it to light as that much to what they're fucking doing to the three precogs. Like what the fuck?
well, and after he kidnaps Agatha, they end up going on kind of a journey to try to get out from the manhunt that has been put forward by Colin Farrell's character to try to bring them back in. Well, it just so happens Agatha is the strongest, and she uh, has him grab an
Steal an
umbrella.
umbrella, and then she tells him to stop so that when they actually stop to look down, the guy with the balloons are in front of them, and yeah.
Yep, and they are able to escape from there, and um, ultimately he as soon as they get outside, he realizes one of the billboards that's going up into the sky is the dude that he sees in the background in his vision that he saw of him murdering someone. And unfortunately, he
Yep.
has to follow that to his to because he wants to make sure that he doesn't do it, but he doesn't know how deep
Yep.
down the rabbit hole he will go to do all this.
Well, he believes he's not going to kill this guy. He's like, I don't know, I'm not going to kill him. And then once he finds the picture on the bed, and then the pictures, it's like he believes that this is the dude that kidnapped his kid and then killed him, and so it's like, um so that's when he's like, okay, I am gonna kill him. Like, he's like, I've thought of two things, and one is, what you look like and be like, if you're still around, and the other, if I ever caught the person that did it, on what I would do with them, and you know, um, that's the great thing about it, and they really fuck with him, and it isn't until Agatha gets through to him, like, you still have a choice, and even though he's super emotional and he's super, just he wants to kill the guy, he doesn't, and that's when he finds out that it was a setup. Like, that this isn't even the dude that did it. This dude was just hired so his family would be taken care of, and then the
And I'm not
dude was.
sure who set him up to begin with, to be honest. It
Well,
didn't
well,
really
what do
say.
you don't know who set him up?
um I don't it didn't say who set him up. uh
What? Well, it's his boss.
well, that's the assumption, but it was
It's not
never.
the assumption. That's the fucking truth. Like, if you have to be you have to be kind of thick in the head to think it's anybody else.
Well, yeah, I agree, but it wasn't exactly said
It
anywhere.
wasn't
It,
at
it,
that point.
it
You
did
didn't
not need
know.
to be said.
At that point, you think that it is possibly the boss, but it's not said because process of elimination. Who else had access to everything, and who else could have done it? So
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's it wasn't any kind of mystery that I just happened to figure out. It was plain as day. And like I said, I'd seen the movie before, but honestly, I've kind of forgot a lot. So it was just plain obvious. Like, um for a while I was thinking it was Colin Farrell's character because he was just such an ass.
Well, he
And
was
then
for his
and
props,
then I realized it
no matter
wasn't.
what.
But like I said, it's been a while since I watched it. I had forgotten. You know.
But yeah, and it was after he had realized. Well, dude was actually said that he was paid to be here, and unfortunately, nothing happened. His family is going to be killed if he's not killed.
No, not
So
killed, just not
that's
paid.
dude's whole thing.
No, not paid. He said they won't be paid. They won't be paid.
Correct. So
right, if he doesn't kill him,
it's
then his family won't be taken care of, and that was the whole
So he
reason
ends
why he
up
did it.
he ends up pulling the trigger on John's gun to make it seem like John killed him, even though he basically killed himself through John's gun. And then John, for some reason, just roughs it and leaves. Um, you know, which I'm not sure exactly why he dropped the gun. And then, Colin Farrell's character ends up picking up the gun, and instead of it going to like some kind of crime lab or some kind of place in a lockup like normally would happen with weapons that was used to kill somebody, evidence. He
Yeah.
takes the gun and then brings it to the boss guy, who ends up killing him with John's gun to make it seem like John did that too. Like, well, he already set him up for one murder, why not two, right?
Right.
Yeah, when I realized it was the boss that was like a father figure to him, I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, it was the dude. It's that dude. I'm like, oh man, I was like, wow, that's fucked up. Like, which I probably had the same reaction when the first time I saw the movie, you know, because it's pretty fucked up because he seems like he's like on his side, and he's like a dad like figure, and
Well,
Right, he even
they're
talks to the wife all the time.
they're like friends and stuff, and
yeah.
yeah,
He's
and
friends with the
yeah.
wife
Well, the
too.
wifey poo, ends up calling him, and he's like, is he there? Is the pregog there? She's like, yeah. Well, keep them there. I'll
No,
send.
no, no. Tammy was talking about the boss's wife, not John's wife.
No, I was talking about John's wife. That dude, that his boss is friends with her,
Yeah.
and
Oh, okay.
so
I thought
and
you were talking about his wife had kissed
No, his
John
wife.
like she was his mother and stuff, and like treated him like they would basically treat him like he was a son, you
Yeah,
know.
right,
And
they
and
they
were.
I
did
think
that
that's like
too.
the kind of relationship they had. Yet, he fucking screwed him over completely. And then I figured it out, and I thought, all right, that makes sense because he's thinking John's the reason that things could fall apart because John's being like he even told John, basically had told John, he's like,
We basically
your
screwed up
your
your pain.
your tragedy was a was a what propelled him to do this, to go into pre-crime, what made it work. But now his passion is making it possible that they're going to take it away. So that's why he set John up, because um because he needed to make sure that the plans still went through no matter what. And it didn't matter that he fucking set up the dude that was like his son. You know?
Oh yeah. But ultimately, I do like. There is a moment where the precog is sitting there in front of like the window in the room of the kids' room, and she's like, "This house is so full of love." And she reminded John that not only was he missing him, so was she, his wife. You know, and that's a moment that I thought was good that they had taken
Now I
care of.
like how she told of a future where their son grew up older and then met somebody and got married and had a baby, and it was a beautiful moment that they gave them. And yeah, I think that right there allowed them to like kind of reconnect to each other, and realize that they were both hurting from it, and that's how they ended up back together again, and she ended up being pregnant again, which I thought was a good way to end it because it was they lost their son, and then they didn't even have each other anymore because they just both couldn't like handle it alone.
Hmm.
They were both dealing with it their own way, and instead of going into each other, they went apart from each other, and she went to be off by herself, solitary. I mean, I don't know what she was doing for work, they never said, but she was off in this like area basically by herself, and he's just plunging into work like there's nothing else, trying to prevent, obviously he did it to try to prevent kids, but he was, preventing all murders really. But yeah, um, but it was pretty fucked up the way they had pictures of all those of those kids on
Yeah,
there, and that was just to set him up, and it's just that it's really fucked
it was
up,
an elaborate setup.
huh?
It was such an elaborate setup.
Yeah,
Even
but
even the cops said that was a classic setup.
well, yeah, they said
Who
it doesn't make sense that all these pictures would be spread out, but I disagree with that because we've all seen enough horror movies where they would do something like kill people, whatever, and then they'd have the pictures and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like some
normally
people.
the pictures wouldn't be spread out like that. They would be like like taped.
No, I've seen it. I've seen them tacked on walls and stuff, but I've also seen them like on bedspreads, so like they're like looking at them, like looking over at their handiwork type thing. So I've seen that.
not that amount though. That was just overkill.
Yeah,
There
it
was
was
so much stuff.
definitely overkill.
Yeah, there was
but
a lot of kids there. What 20 or so?
but ultimately, the pre-crime team arrived and arrested John, and you saw him put into that collection of pre-crime people graveyard, um, and um, you think that that's almost the end of the movie, like he's been caught, but then of course the wife comes by and he gives her these effects, and she mentions he has her uh, try to tie his tie, and they're
Yeah,
talking.
the boss. She goes to the boss and she's talking about Anne and the woman that he killed, and um he's like, oh, I never heard of her, and then he starts talking, and then he gets him to she gets him to mess up by saying,
That's
he
drowned.
goes, oh, he goes, no, I'll look into a woman named Anne that was drowned. He's like, I did mention Anne, but I never mentioned she was drowned. And then he stands up. He's a tall motherfucker. I mean, Tom Cruise isn't that short, but Tom Cruise looked like a fucking midget next to him practically. And then when he's towering over that woman, he looked like he was gonna kill her then, but obviously he couldn't. But he definitely threatened her. He definitely was like, I'll come by
We'll
later.
talk,
like,
we'll talk
I'm
about
gonna,
this tomorrow.
yeah, I'm gonna. He basically was saying, I'm gonna kill you because, you know, but he couldn't say that because the secretary was right there. There was people all around. People were around, and so he couldn't deal with it
Oh
right there. But yeah, he was basically saying that. But you know, they had a plan.
So she ends up taking John's gun, um, in the effects,
Hmm.
and going down to the graveyard, dude. And she was like, "How did you get in here? You don't have access to it." And she pulled
Yeah,
out the one
she used the eyeball.
uh,
Yeah, when she drops that bag with the eyeball, it was like,
You
ooh.
know,
when
one
he
thing I
lost
was
the
thinking.
eyeball and it went into the great, that was funny.
The one thing I was thinking the first time when he used his own eyeball, and then when she used it, why didn't they change the security? Why was he still having access when they think he was like a criminal? He shouldn't have had all that access anymore. They should have changed that immediately.
They wanted to catch him.
But he was
They were
already
hoping
caught
he would
and
try to come
put
in.
into the graveyard thing. So they
No,
should
I'm
have
talking about
changed the
before
security.
that. They should have changed his eyes. They shouldn't have allowed him to have access. That would not have
Yeah,
really happened if there was some kind of government thing where someone was in charge and then that person was being hunted down. They would not keep his security. They would immediately shut his security down.
yeah. At least that's what you would think.
No, they
So
would shut the. I know they would have. They didn't in the movie, but they in real life they would have.
yeah, in the real life they would have.
Right.
But
That's what I'm saying. That's
she,
what made the movie a little bit off because, well, why wouldn't they have done that?
well, she was able to get him out of there, and his team was able to uh, actually. Uh, I think what they did is they took the vision that Agatha was presently.
Yeah, the
Uh,
black guy did it, not the team, just the one. There's
well,
only
yeah.
like two people on the team that really still believed in him.
Well, Agatha started to unravel the true vision, the one that was obscured for everyone. I think she was keeping that original Minority Report secret, at least until there was a way um, to fully bring things to light. You know, she was keeping it from John because it wasn't the right time. You know, so she uncovered the person behind the mask and everything to the general public, and that's what got him in trouble. You know, and he just the way that he brought him to or he came to him on that balcony, and he was like, "Well, go ahead, shoot me, but you know what's going to happen." You know. Um, and ultimately, I think he before he shoots him, I think he gets shot, and then you see him get put in that graveyard. I believe,
Who?
right? So, and then of course you get the whole story of the after. What happens to the precogs? They end up going and living together on a farm somewhere, you know. And
I think it was neat what he said to him. You know, he basically set him back up. He's like you got a choice. You can kill me, and well, you'll be you'll be a murderer, but you'll at least prove that your system works, or you can not kill me and then prove that the system doesn't work, has faults. And and of course then he realizes there's no way out and shoots himself, which doesn't it just he may as well have just shot John, but I guess he realized at that point he lost and just was like he just decided he didn't want to kill John anymore. He just kill himself because he's screwed. He's screwed either way.
yep, and that's pretty much the end of everything. I mean, there is the mother of Agatha is the victim from that whole fiasco.
Yes,
I forgot to mention that victim was Agatha's mother, and
I said
Agatha's
it.
mother. You may have said it, but I don't remember. But um, all Agatha's mother was trying to do was trying to connect or reconnect with her daughter after
Right,
the
but
experiments.
that would have taken Agatha away,
Correct.
and as it was, they weren't treating them like humans, but the boys weren't strong enough. The girl was the stronger of the three, and they wouldn't have worked without her. Like he even said, like if they'd maybe taken one of the boys, possibly, but
Yep. So ultimately, at the end of all things, what did y'all think about the production of it all? Tammy, what were your thoughts?
The production.
Yeah, overall.
Um, I thought it was cool. I mean, I really like. I mean, I liked all the use of the technology. I thought that his whole that whole room where he moves all the stuff around, and you know um I thought it was kind of unique how it starts out with those balls coming down the thing with the people's name on them, and then they go from there. That was just kind of okay. You got all this technology, and the thing comes down. How you started out with these balls, but but the rest of it was neat how he could, had this huge thing and he could move all the stuff around and then he could insert the things and, while he, and they're trying to piece this all together from the things that they're getting from the minds of the people. So I thought that was neat. I didn't really, I thought the cars were kind of neat. I kind of like the concept how they would go up the building and then go boom into your place and lock in there. I thought that was kind of neat. But the cars themselves and that, I don't know. But um, and I did like the idea of this. I did, you know, that this would prevent all kinds of crime and everything if it could really happen. And so yeah, I thought the production was pretty good. I mean, there's obviously a lot of graphical stuff in it and everything, but you know, I like the scenes where they show up to do this to stop whatever crime is going to happen. How they like come down and they're in these like almost spaceship looking things that come and they come down off of them and just like invade.
Well,
So
yeah, literally, there was really only one crime that they solved as pre-crime people, which was interesting because you would expect them to maybe do maybe one more or that would mean where they would use a montage of different but I don't really think you needed any of all that just to see all these people down there in that graveyard, like a thing of collection of people that they've collected over the years, you know.
yeah, that was kind of neat too. That was like that's a really different way to put people in prison. But yeah, I thought the production was pretty good.
Oh, it saves on space and paying for water bills.
Yeah,
That's for darn sure.
But the
but
Um,
problem is the people were not guilty of anything. They were guilty of maybe having the thoughts of guilty of possibly doing something, but they actually were not guilty of anything.
um, some people would say even the thought of having it is guilty enough.
And those hypocrites would be in jail too because everybody has those fucking thoughts. I don't care who you are. At one point in time, you've had the thoughts. Nobody
uh,
controls that. Nobody controls their thoughts. They just control what they do with their thoughts.
not yet, but in any case,
Not ever.
what did you think about the production, Kroll?
Well, as I said before, when this movie came out, it was more futuristic looking than it is now. So I mean, it was good for its time. Now I mean, yeah, okay. There's a few things we don't have now, but it doesn't seem that much of a science fiction. It doesn't seem that much of a stretch. There wasn't anything in the movie that was like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like, can you and just like imagine that being real? They didn't have anything like that. They just had stuff that was, you know, something you expect them to have. Like even the jetpacks, it's not that out of the realm of possibility. I'm sure they already got stuff like that. And then, um, the the vehicles, they've got floating cars in it, already. So, again, not really that out of the realm of possibilities. The little helicopter, whatever the hell ship things they were flying in on, you know, they look like military like things, and I'm sure they probably have something like that in the military now, or if not close to it. So, nothing was for its time as time. It definitely felt more realistic, more futuristic than it does watching it now because pretty much have all that stuff, or if we don't quite have it, we're not far away from it. So, but it was good. It did paint the picture, and like I said, in watching it when it came out, it was definitely felt more futuristic than it does now. But it's only like 31 years from now, you know, which they're probably gonna actually have more advanced stuff in 31 years than what they show in that movie. So, but
Oh,
it wasn't really, it wasn't meant to be a futuristic movie. It was just set in the future, in a future time. So that being said, I think they did a good job for what they needed to accomplish. They didn't really had to show too much of future, just enough to make you believe that it could have been in 2054.
okay. And is that pretty much it for production as far as you go?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, and I do have to say when I first saw this movie, I think I saw it in the actual theaters. Um, I think it was one of the last movies that I saw with my mentor that was given to me by the state at one point in time to just get me out of the house and stuff during my teenager years, 16, 17, 18, something like that.
So big, like a big brother.
Yeah, like a big brother. I had quite a few mentors, but this one actually took me out to movies a lot.
They actually called it a
And
mentor, but he didn't teach you anything.
yes,
Mentors actually teach you.
he tried to, but he would use the going out to movies as like a fun day, and then he would come around if I needed like help with homework or things of that nature.
But he didn't teach you. He didn't teach you entrepreneurship. So how can they call him a mentor?
No clue,
Maybe a
but
coach, but not a mentor.
regardless, I saw the movie with him, and then later when I owned it, I've seen it a couple of times. But I did think at the time that this did look like really cool for a future world. But now seeing it now, yes, we've made so many technical, logical advances that the computer aspect of it, we're not that far off from that. As
No, we
far
already
as
have that.
in government facilities and things of that nature.
Microsoft's not the government. I'm sure Microsoft has that stuff.
Whoa, of
People
course
can
we
buy it. I just don't have just there. It's expensive.
but and I I do think that the ships that they come in on are a little bit uh, still futuristic. I haven't seen anything like it yet.
What is it?
The ships that they came in on at the in the end at the house, and when they um came in and dropped from to try to catch him.
I
But I
mean,
do
they're just like
color
they're
back.
just kind of they're just kind of like a helicopter plane hybrid, really. They don't think that, I don't. They didn't seem all that far from future.
You're muted.
I mean, they don't quite. I don't know if they have that exactly right now in the military or whatever, but it didn't seem like it was that far out of the realm of possibility at all. It really felt like something that they either have or hopes to having. I mean, it really didn't. I mean, yeah, in a way, they kind of look like ships, but we didn't see them like flying out in space. So,
No,
for what they were doing, they definitely seemed like in the realm of possibility. It definitely didn't really feel like a Steven Spielberg movie because he does like sci-fi movies, and it wasn't really sci-fi.
but yeah. Ultimately, the technology is not that far off from what we know now. So, um, I'm pretty okay with the production overall. The realm of things there. As far as the music goes, let's see if we get the music. Looking real fast. I don't think they really had that much of soundtrack. Okay, John Williams from Star Wars did the music for this, and Jurassic Park. Yep, he did much of the music from Star Wars. You know that.
And Superman.
Yep. So that's what did
Yeah,
you think of the
normally
figure?
I don't have a fucking clue about composers and stuff, but it's like, you say John Williams, I'm like, oh, I know him. I know two of his stuff, Star Wars and Superman. I always forget about Jurassic Park, but I mean, have we done those movies?
We've done them on the regular show, just not.
That doesn't matter, dude. This is a different show, so have we done?
We have not done Jurassic Park as of yet on Delusions of Grandeur, so those are up for grabs.
I need to see. Well, I need to see the newest one. Obviously, we can't do that one because we'd have to see the other four first, or three.
Well, yeah, we would definitely have to do the other three first. But
well, it's Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic Park 2, then is the Jurassic World, and then Jurassic World 2. Or is there another one?
There is Jurassic Park, Lost World, and then Jurassic Park 3. Then there is
Jurassic World.
Jurassic Park World. And then there is Domination,
which is Jurassic World 2.
Yeah. And then there's the Fallen Kingdom, which is.
Did I see? I don't think I saw. I guess I'm 2 movies behind then because I didn't see the. I saw Jurassic World, but I don't think I saw the. I know I didn't see the latest one, and I didn't see the other one either.
Well, now we're on to favorite scenes and our favorite characters. So, Tammy, I'll start with you. Favorite scenes and our favorite characters.
I think my favorite character is actually Agatha, and because when she grabs him the first time and is telling him something, and then when he takes her, all the things that she's doing to kind of help him, and she's basically taken totally out of the element that she's been in for how long and everything. I don't know. Something about Agatha, I liked her a lot. And favorite scene? Oh boy. Well, one of them, my favorite scenes is when he gets out of the car and he's jumping from car to car and people are freaking out as he's jumping onto their cars. That was kind of neat. Let's see what else. Was there anything else? There was like a lot of good scenes, But I mean, the one that I didn't like is I didn't like it when he grabbed the wrong food. That was, and you knew he was going to. It's like he's putting his hand on it, and it's like, no, you're watching it, and you're going, no, not that.
Not that milk either.
And then he grabs the milk besides him, like, no, it's the wrong milk. Don't grab that, So.
And you knew exactly where the nice sandwich was, and it did look like a good looking sandwich when he put it in there.
Yeah. So he even showed him like, I got this food for you. He did have the food, but he didn't tell him he had some rotten food in there.
So yeah, that would be about it. Yeah, like I said, Agatha was my favorite.
Okay. Heading over to you, Kroll. Favorite character or characters and our favorite scene.
I have to agree with Tammy on Agatha. I like Tom Cruise's character, and I think everyone did a good role for their role, but Agatha just kind of knocked it out of the park. That the actress did such an amazing job playing the character, um, playing basically like partially like comatose, but then not, and coherent, even though she's not supposed to be. And then like when she's like trying to walk with him, and obviously she's not used to walking, so like she really sold it. Like she was like somebody that had been in fucking a pool all her life, and you could, and the way her face looked when she was like out in the rain, like she was just like so, her face lit up when she was out in the rain because there was water, because that's what she's used to, right? Being like in like a pool all the time, So it was like the actress was just fucking amazing. Like she sold every scene. I mean, you know, I can't think of her name. I know I've seen her in things too. Um, and and I mean, I've never seen a movie where I was like, oh, she's horrible or anything, but I've never seen a movie where I was like, wow, she knocked it out of the park. But in this movie, I think she knocked it out of the fucking park. Like she really, I think she was the best actress, the best actor or actress, whatever, in the movie, and that includes Tom Cruise. And there's some big names in the freaking movie: Colin Farrell, Tom Cruise, like big fucking names. But I think she knocked it out of the park. I think she beat everybody when it comes to acting. Like she just played that fucking role so fucking perfectly. Um, and as far as favorite scene goes, there's a few scenes like the one that Tammy said is a good scene, and the fight with Colin Farrell was a good scene. But I personally liked it when he kicks, in the beginning when he beats the shit out of his whole team, like, and then he's just like riding on the other dude's rocket, and like going through
Holy
buildings and
shit!
shit, and
The
you
uh,
know,
the uh, the girl who played Agatha, she played the Alpha in The Walking Dead.
she played who?
The Alpha.
Oh, that's where I fucking recognize her from. That's where I
Holy
recognize her from. All right. Yeah. I'm looking at her face. I'm damn, she looks so familiar. I know I've seen her in something. Okay, so yeah, she played the villain in that one. Yeah, she's a damn good actress. She's a
yeah,
damn good actress. She was such a fucking nutcase in Walking Dead.
yeah,
Um,
she was.
you know, she was a she was a she was a total like she 100% believed her own shit. Like she believed in everything. She believed in everything so much to the point of she fucking was doing all that shit that she believed into her own daughter. Like she was just like,
Yeah,
like she was just a psychopath. It was like when she was killed, it was like Joffrey being killed in Game of Thrones. Everyone cheering, like uh But yeah. So I loved her character in this movie. Um, yeah, she's a damn good fucking actress. Wow, I did not realize she's the one from what? Yeah, like yeah, she is damn good actress. You know, um, damn good. You know, and she can. I mean, in one movie she makes you feel like you just feel sorry for her, and you really care for her, and you really understand what she must be going through, or thinking about it, and then in the TV show you like she's such a fucking nutcase, and you like you can't stand her, but then you can't wait to actually see her on screen because you want to see what else more this fucking nutcase gonna do, because it's all about villains, right? I mean, we want the heroes to win. Well, most people want the heroes to win, um, but if you don't have a really good villain, then the heroes don't look as good when they defeat them.
yeah,
I mean, the governor was a really good villain, and then Negan, and then this one. As much as she was good, I still think Negan was the biggest one.
oh yeah,
but they had him run for like what 3 seasons as the villain. Um, no one else really got that chance, but still, Negan was the biggest. And I love how they turn him into they turn him almost into somewhat of a hero. You know,
He's like
and
an anti-hero.
and the weirdest fucking thing is him and Maggie working together, and then they had that spin-off show of him and Maggie, and it's just like it's so not in the realm of possibility that you would think that would ever happen because he fucking killed her husband. He
Yeah,
killed
in
Glenn,
front
dude.
of her.
He killed fucking Glenn.
In fact,
Like when
it pissed off a lot of fans.
what?
It pissed off a lot of fans that they killed him off. I
Yeah,
remember.
me. I was, dude. The season before when we thought he was gonna get eaten by other zombies, dude. Like how he got out of that one, it was amazing. But then they like in the comics, that's when he died. He died then in the comics. I guess I never read the comics, but I've heard about it. And then but they kept him around for another season. They killed him off. I was so pissed. I'm like, motherfuckers killed Glenn, the best character in the goddamn show. They fucking killed him. He was my favorite character. He was my favorite character the whole fucking time, dude. Right from the get go, he was my favorite character. He was in the fucking very first episode. Yeah, Glenn was my favorite character. I mean, I like Rick and I liked a lot of people, but yeah, Glenn was my favorite character, man.
Uh,
I was very pissed when they killed Glenn off. And although I like a good redemption thing, and so I started liking Negan, even though he killed Glenn. But
yeah,
it still felt really fucking weird for him and Maggie to be working together.
it definitely did and does.
I mean, I get it. Like the world's gone to shit. The zombies are all over the place. The fucking most of the humans that you meet suck. And so sometimes, my enemy is my friend type thing, or, like sometimes you have to work with people that you don't want to, but still, it was just really fucking weird for them to work together, you know?
Well, in any case, my favorite character I do have to say is Agatha as well. She did a damn good job as a precog, and trying to help John, even though she was trying to tell him not to go. In fact, she was trying to tell him to just take them somewhere else, you know.
Mm.
But she was a good actress, and it was a good character. Um, and I did like Tom Cruise in this one. He definitely did play the father who just missed his son so much, and that's all that was about. He wasn't. I don't think that he was the fault in the design. The fly in the ointment, so to speak. I uh as far as favorite scenes, I'm going to have to say one of my favorite scenes was when the spider scanners came through. Um, Another one would have to be. I would have to say when his wife actually came in and saved the day. You know. Oh, and I do enjoy I don't know why, but I enjoy the part where he actually uh, mistakes the sandwich for the
I
rotten
know why, Dave.
one.
'Cause you like discussing things. Look at the movies you pick.
But in any case, yeah, those are some of my favorite scenes. I did like when he went and visited that old lady. That was a
Or the
cool
poison
fine
ivy
effect.
lady.
Yeah, the poison ivy lady. I did like when he learned everything that he did by her, and you know,
Did you
He
guys
was
notice the Attack of the Clone scenes
what do you mean?
when he's like moving away from the metal and shit, and he's like almost gets his arm caught, and it completely mimicked Anakin getting his arm caught, and where he lost his lightsaber.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, I did get a kick out of the plants.
Yeah,
A lot of her
because
plants seem to be alive. They moved and everything, you know.
well, and she made a point to say, you know what, when it comes down to it, every animal on Earth, including plants, animals, they all have the instinct to survive. And
yeah. She fucking chokes the plant just to prove a point.
yep,
So
so
that's something Poison Ivy would not do.
yep. But whatever she gave him T-wise helped him come back from whatever that poisonous plant had.
Yeah, well, she gave him the remedy to the poison.
Yep. So, other than that, that's pretty much it.
Who needs attack dogs when you got to attack plants?
Right. But that's pretty much it for me. Unless anyone else has anything else to add. Alrighty. So, share. Did you have something?
No.
Alrighty. So, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, you enjoyed our discussion on this movie. We definitely will have some more movies coming your way as discussions. Kroll, have you chosen next week's yet, or
Yeah, can we do a double feature?
Of?
American Pie 1 and 2.
Yeah, we should be able to do that.
Okay. And also, I wanna take a vote. And since somebody's not here, I guess he doesn't get to vote. But Tammy, if you want to do Pirates, I say you do two of them, do 3 and 4.
I wouldn't mind doing more pirates.
Okay.
So because then we can get through because I think I'm gonna do all the American Pie, well, the main American Pie. I'm not gonna do the offshoot ones, American Pie movies. And we'll get through them quicker if we can do at least two at a time. I'm not saying do 3 or 4, but do 2 at a time and do 2 at a time with the Pirates. It's a way to get through the faster ones. And I know Philip's probably gonna be like, "What the hell?" But that's what he gets for not showing up.
Well, we already basically did 1 and 2. Just the pirates. There's 3 left.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Do 3 and 4, and then we can do the last one.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because technically it's the last one on Stranger Tides is kind of a standalone anyway. So, but because it's not with the rest of the people that are involved, it's basically with Johnny Depp.
But we'll have to make sure we start. If we're doing doubles, we'll have to definitely make sure we start on time. Because remember, I only got so much time.
I get it. So,
Yep.
like, share, and subscribe. Let us know down in the comments what you thought of our discussion. And don't forget, on Inside Movies Galore, this Monday we'll be doing talk radio, and we'll see you next time here on Delusions of Grandeur. Everyone, say good night.
Good night.
Good day. I say good day.